Hello guys, welcome to Scion What Ifs. So in this video, we will see what if Goku was sent to the One Punch Man universe. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land. The sky cracked open like an egg. Not gradually or with any warning, just a sudden, violent tear in reality itself. Blue lightning forked across the clouds as something, or someone, plummeted toward City Z at terminal velocity. Son Goku didn't scream. Screaming wouldn't help, and besides, this wasn't even close to the weirdest thing that had happened to him this week. 1 second he'd been locked in battle with some reality-warping villain whose name he'd already forgotten, and the next, boom. His impact created a crater 30 feet wide in the middle of an empty park. Dust billowed outward, nearby trees bent away from the shockwave, and several park benches were reduced to splinters. Goku sat up, rubbing his head. Ow! That actually stung a little. He bounced to his feet, dusting himself off. Hello? Anybody here? Vegeta? Gohan? No response. Just the gentle rustle of leaves and distant city sounds he didn't recognize. Ha! This doesn't look like home. Goku stretched his arms overhead, then closed his eyes, extending his senses outward. What he felt made his eyes snap open wide. Whoa! So many power levels. Different from what I'm used to, but some of them are actually pretty impressive. A grin spread across his face. The thrill of potential new challenges always trumped any inconvenience, even being stranded in what was clearly another world. Goku floated upward to get a better view. The city sprawled in all directions, denser than West City but with similar technology. Strange letters adorned the buildings. He could somehow understand them, but they weren't in any language he recognized. City Z, huh? Weird name. Guess I should check it out. He dropped back to the ground and started walking. No point flying around and freaking people out right away. Better to get the lay of the land first. The citizens of City Z barely glanced at Goku's orange GI as he strolled down the sidewalk. In a world where heroes dressed in everything from robot suits to schoolgirl outfits, his martial arts uniform hardly registered as unusual. Goku's stomach growled ferociously. Man, interdimensional travel sure works up an appetite. He spotted a ramen shop and practically teleported inside. The small, steamy restaurant was empty except for a young man behind the counter who looked up with a bored expression. Give me 10 of your biggest bowls. Goku announced cheerfully, sliding onto a stool. The cook's eyebrows shot up. 10. You sure, buddy? Yeah. Oh wait, Goku patted his GI, then looked crestfallen. I don't have any money. At least, probably not the right kind. The cook was about to respond when the TV in the corner switched to breaking news. A frantic reporter stood in front of a smoking building. This is an emergency alert for City Z. A disaster-level tiger threat has emerged downtown. The monster calling itself Granite Crusher is destroying buildings and appears to be heading toward the shopping district. Citizens are advised to evacuate immediately while heroes respond to the AAAH. The camera shook wildly as a massive humanoid figure with stone-like skin smashed through a wall behind the reporter. 10 bowls on the house if you're a hero and go deal with that, the cook said, already reaching for his phone to call the evacuation hotline. Goku perked up instantly. Deal. I'll be right back. Before the cook could blink, Goku had vanished out the door. He wasn't technically a hero in the professional sense this world seemed to have, but monster stopping had always been part of his resume. And 10 free bowls of ramen. That was barely a snack, but it was a start. Downtown was chaos. People ran screaming from a hulking figure that stood 12 feet tall with skin like rough granite and massive fists that pulverized concrete with each blow. Weaklings, the monster bellowed, punching through the facade of a department store. I was once a stonemason mocked for my ugly creations. Now I've become living stone, and I'll crush everything beautiful. Goku landed a short distance away, watching with curious interest. Hey, he called out. You should probably stop wrecking stuff. Granite Crusher turned, narrowing glowing yellow eyes at the newcomer. Who dares? I'm Goku. And I'm pretty hungry, so let's make this quick, okay? The monster's laugh rumbled like an avalanche. Another weakling hero? Where is your costume? Your weapon? Your fear? Goku scratched his head. Costume? I'm just wearing my GI. And I don't need weapons. He grinned, dropping into a fighting stance. As for fear, should I be scared of you or something? The taunt worked perfectly. With a roar of rage, Granite Crusher charged, swinging a massive fist that could shatter steel. Goku didn't dodge. He simply raised one hand and caught the fist, stopping it cold. Huh, you're actually pretty strong. Goku said, sounding genuinely impressed. For this world, anyway. But your technique needs work. The monster's eyes widened in shock. Impossible. Goku yawned. Sorry, but I'm really hungry. Let's finish this up. With a casual flick of his wrist, he sent the stone monster flying upward. Granite Crusher reached the apex of his trajectory with a distant scream, then plummeted back toward Earth. Instead of letting him crash potentially endangering civilians, Goku vanished and reappeared above the falling monster. With precise control, he delivered a hammer blow that sent Granite Crusher into an empty construction site, where the monster crashed harmlessly into a pile of sand. Goku landed beside the impact zone. The monster groaned, its stone skin cracked but still intact. You're tough. Most bad guys would be out cold, Goku said appreciatively. Want to give up now? Who? What are you? Granite Crusher wheezed, struggling to rise. I told you, I'm Goku. I'm actually not from around here. Just passing through. No mere human has such strength. Goku laughed. Well, I'm not exactly. A whooshing sound interrupted him as a mechanical figure landed nearby with a heavy metallic clank. A young blonde man with robotic arms glared at both of them, his palms glowing with energy. Target acquired. Stand aside, civilian. I will eliminate this threat. Goku turned with interest. Oh, hey. Are you one of the heroes they mentioned on TV? That's cool. But don't worry, this guy's pretty much done. The cyborg's eyes narrowed. You subdued a tiger-level threat without assistance. Identify yourself. I'm Son Goku. Nice to meet you. He extended a hand cheerfully. The cyborg didn't take it. I am Genos, S-Class Rank 14 Hero. Are you registered with the Hero Association? Hero Association? Nope, never heard of it. Their conversation was interrupted by Granite Crusher, who had managed to stand up. Fools. My rage makes me stronger. The monster's cracked skin began to glow red-hot. Genos stepped forward. Stand back. He's attempting a desperation move. Goku shook his head. Nah, I got this. I promised the ramen guy I'd handle it. Before Genos could protest, Goku flickered out of sight. A millisecond later, he reappeared behind Granite Crusher and delivered a precise chop to the back of the monster's neck. The stone giant froze, eyes wide, then toppled forward, unconscious. Genos stared. His sensors had barely tracked the movement. Impossible. That speed exceeds, so anyway, Goku said, already back beside Genos, what's this Hero Association thing? And do you know where I can get something to eat? I was promised 10 bowls of ramen. The cyborg blinked. Your priorities are unusual. I'm starving. Goku protested, his stomach growling loudly enough for Genos to register it on multiple audio channels. The monster threat has been neutralized, Genos said into a communicator on his wrist. Sending coordinates for cleanup. Unusual situation requires further investigation. Goku's attention had already wandered to some nearby food stalls that had been abandoned in the panic. Hey, think they'd mind if I took some of that? I'll pay them back somehow. That would be theft, Genos said firmly. As an S-class hero, I cannot allow. He was interrupted by another arrival, this time a bald man in a yellow jumpsuit and white cape who landed with casual ease. Genos? Did I miss it again? The newcomer asked, looking annoyed and disappointed at the unconscious monster. Master Saitama. Genos straightened respectfully. You arrived with remarkable speed, but the situation has become complicated. Saitama raised an eyebrow, noticing Goku for the first time. Who's this guy? I'm Goku. Another cheerful introduction, another offered hand. Unlike Genos, Saitama took it. Saitama. So you beat the rock guy? Yeah. He wasn't too tough, but had decent power. Are you a hero too? Unfortunately, Saitama sighed. Never any decent challenges anymore. Goku's eyes lit up. Really? You look pretty strong. Want to spar sometime? Saitama's expression shifted subtly, a tiny spark of interest. You think you could give me a decent fight? Master, Genos interrupted, this individual displayed speed and strength beyond normal human parameters. He neutralized a tiger-level threat with a single strike. Ha! Saitama gave Goku a more evaluative look. Where'd you come from? Haven't seen you in the hero rankings. Well, that's kinda complicated. Goku's reply was cut short by another earth-shaking growl from his stomach. He clutched it dramatically. Sorry. I really need food first. Can't think straight when I'm this hungry. Saitama's serious expression melted into understanding. Now that's something I get. Bargain day at the supermarket is today. You can explain while we shop. Master, Genos protested, protocol dictates unregistered individuals with abnormal abilities should be reported to the association. Saitama waved dismissively. They'll just make him fill out a bunch of paperwork. Food first, bureaucracy later. My exact thinking. Goku said, instantly bonding with the bald hero. Lead the way. The supermarket was packed with bargain hunters, but people gave the odd trio a wide berth, a cyborg, a caped baldy, and a spiky-haired man in an orange GI who kept exclaiming over food items. So you're from another dimension, Saitama summarized as they navigated the aisles, his cart already full. Fighting some villain, reality got ripped, and you fell through. Pretty much. Goku confirmed, adding a fifth box of cereal to their cart. Happens more often than you'd think. Usually sorts itself out eventually. And you're a Scion? Genos asked, recording everything for later analysis. Well, I was born a Scion, raised on Earth. So I'm kind of both. Goku grabbed a dozen eggs. In my world, there's no hero system like you guys have. We just show up when bad stuff happens. Sounds more efficient, Saitama muttered. The Hero Association provides structure and accountability, Genos countered. Without it, we wouldn't have to take written tests to prove we can punch monsters, Saitama interrupted. Goku laughed. Written tests? For fighting? That's hilarious. I failed mine, Saitama admitted. Only got into S-Class because of special circumstances. S-Class is the top, right? You guys must be pretty strong then. A shadow of disappointment crossed Saitama's face. Too strong, honestly. One punch and it's over. Every time. Something in his tone made Goku pause his food gathering. That sounds frustrating. You have no idea. Their eyes met, and something passed between them, a recognition. Goku might have been more expressive, more openly enthusiastic, but both men knew the unique loneliness of standing at the peak. The moment was broken by Genos. Master Saitama has yet to find an opponent worthy of his full power. It is both his blessing and his burden. Enough with the dramatic narration, Saitama grumbled. Let's check out. My arms are getting tired. At the checkout, Saitama's eyes widened as the total kept climbing. Hey! I can't afford all this. Sorry, Goku said sheepishly. I got carried away. Genos stepped in. I will cover the expenses, master. You always do that, Saitama sighed. It is my privilege to support, yeah. Let's go home and eat. Saitama's apartment was small and Spartan, a stark contrast to the mountain of groceries they'd brought. Goku sat cross-legged on the floor while Saitama prepared a simple meal and Genos continued his interrogation. Your power level appears significant. Have you encountered beings of similar strength in your world? Oh sure. Lots of them, Goku said, watching Saitama cook with hungry eyes. My friend Vegeta is about as strong as me. Then there's Gohan, Piccolo, Beerus, Whis. And are all beings in your dimension capable of such power? Nah, most humans are pretty normal. But with the right training, anyone can get stronger. That's what's great about martial arts. Saitama placed a steaming pot in the center of the table. Food's ready. Nothing fancy. Looks amazing. Goku dived in with enthusiasm that bordered on alarming. Rice vanished into his mouth at speeds even Genos struggled to track. He eats faster than you, master, the cyborg observed. Saitama watched with growing astonishment as Goku consumed enough for 10 people. Where does it all go? Between mouthfuls, Goku explained more about his situation, the different universe he came from, his friends and family, the various threats they'd faced. Saitama and Genos listened with varying degrees of skepticism. So you can transform into different forms with different hair colors? Saitama asked, raising an eyebrow. Sounds complicated. Want me to show you? Goku offered excitedly. Not in the apartment, both Saitama and Genos shouted simultaneously. Goku laughed. Good point. Might blow the roof off. I'll show you sometime outside the city. After dinner, they discussed living arrangements. He can stay with us, master, Genos suggested. I can monitor his activities and study his powers. It's a tiny apartment, Saitama pointed out. I don't need much space, Goku assured them. I've slept outside plenty of times. Or I could find somewhere else if it's trouble. Nah, you can crash here tonight, Saitama decided. Tomorrow we'll figure out the Hero Association stuff. They might pay you if you register. Money would be good, Goku admitted. I've never been great with it, but I need to eat while I'm here. The association will want to test your abilities, Genos warned. They may attempt to classify and control you. They can try, Goku said with a grin that made Saitama chuckle. Morning came with a commotion. Genos stood over Goku, who had been sleeping peacefully on a borrowed futon. Proximity alert. Multiple A-class heroes approaching. Goku yawned and stretched. Is that bad? They rarely travel in groups unless summoned. Genos moved to the window. Master, wake up. We have visitors. Saitama groaned from his bedroom. Tell them to go away. A authoritative knock rattled the door. Demon Cyborg. Caped Baldy. This is Sweet Mask with an official Hero Association delegation. Open up. Goku peered out the window. Wow, that blue-haired guy looks annoyed. And why are there so many people with weapons? Saitama emerged, still in his pajamas. Great. The Pretty Boy Brigade. He trudged to the door and yanked it open. What? A strikingly handsome man with blue hair stood at the forefront of 6 costumed heroes. His smile was perfect but didn't reach his eyes. Saitama. We received reports of an unregistered individual with S-class level abilities. Surveillance footage shows this person entering your residence. Sweet Mask's gaze shifted past Saitama to Goku, who waved cheerfully. The association requires immediate assessment of potential threats. He's not a threat, Saitama yawned. Just a guy from another dimension. Sweet Mask's smile tightened. Another dimension. Yeah. I'm Goku. The Scion bounced forward, extending his hand enthusiastically. Nice to meet you. Sweet Mask ignored the hand. If you're as powerful as reported, you need proper evaluation and classification. Please come with us immediately. Do I have to? Goku glanced at Saitama. Technically no, Saitama shrugged. But they'll keep bugging you until you do it. The safety of multiple cities is our priority, one of the other heroes added. She wore metallic armor and carried a staff. Unregistered powers are a potential risk factor. Goku scratched his head. I guess that makes sense. What do I have to do? Physical evaluation, threat assessment, power classification, psychological screening, Genos began listing. Boring stuff, Saitama translated. But they might give you free food. That decided it. I'm in. When do we start? The Hero Association headquarters was a massive complex that reminded Goku of Capsule Corporation, but with more security and serious-looking people in suits. He followed Sweet Mask through a series of checkpoints, with Saitama and Genos tagging along, ostensibly to provide context, but really out of curiosity. This place is huge. Goku marveled, gazing up at the towering ceilings. The association monitors and responds to threats across all cities, Sweet Mask explained with practiced smoothness. From here, we coordinate hero activities, classify monsters, and protect humanity. We get it, you're important, Saitama mumbled. They entered a large testing chamber with various equipment and monitoring stations. Scientists and officials observed from behind glass walls. First, basic physical assessment, announced a white-coated researcher. Please step onto the platform. Goku complied, standing on a circular pad that lit up beneath his feet. This measures strength, speed potential, reaction time, and energy output, the scientist explained, typing commands. Please perform a standard punch against the target. A reinforced punching pad emerged from the floor. How hard should I hit it? Goku asked. Full strength, Sweet Mask said with a hint of challenge. That might not be a good, full strength, the hero repeated firmly. Saitama sighed. They never learn. Goku shrugged. If you say so. He settled into a stance, pulled back his fist, and delivered a carefully controlled punch that he considered maybe 5% of his actual power. The shockwave shattered the reinforced pad, cracked the platform, and sent measuring equipment flying. Warning lights flashed as the entire room shook. Oops, Goku said sheepishly. Sorry about that. The scientists behind the glass stared in shock. Monitoring equipment smoked and sparked. Was that, full power? A trembling researcher asked over the intercom. Not even close, Saitama answered before Goku could. He was being polite. Sweet Mask's perfect composure cracked slightly. I see. Perhaps we should move to the outdoor testing facility. The next hour consisted of increasingly desperate attempts to measure Goku's capabilities. He ran on a specialized treadmill until it broke, lifted weights until they ran out of weights, and demonstrated reflexes that the equipment couldn't properly register. This is stupid, Saitama eventually declared. You're just breaking stuff. He's strong, get over it. Protocol must be followed, Sweet Mask insisted, though he looked increasingly disturbed by the results. Look, Goku suggested, why don't I just show you some techniques outside where I won't wreck your equipment? That led them to a massive reinforced training ground behind the headquarters. A gathering of officials and top heroes had assembled to watch, including several S-Class members curious about the newcomer. "So I'll just demonstrate a few basic moves," Goku announced to the crowd. "Nothing too flashy. Show them something good," Saitama encouraged, actually looking interested for once. "I want to see what you can do too." Goku grinned. "Alright then." What followed left even the most experienced heroes speechless. Goku demonstrated flight, energy manipulation, and speed that defied visual tracking. He fired ki blasts that vaporized target drones, moved so fast he created afterimages, and finally, at Saitama's specific request, transformed into a Super Saiyan. The golden aura erupted around him, his hair standing up in glowing spikes as his eyes shifted to teal. The ground beneath him cracked from the pressure of his energy. "This is the first Super Saiyan transformation," he explained casually, as if he hadn't just changed the color of his hair through sheer power. "I've got a few more levels beyond this, but they might cause some, environmental issues." The assembled heroes and officials stared in stunned silence. Even Sweet Mask seemed at a loss for words. Only Saitama appeared unimpressed. "Neat trick with the hair. Does it make you any stronger?" "About 50 times, Goku replied, powering back down to his base form. "Each transformation multiplies my power." Whispers erupted among the observers. Genos was recording everything, his mechanical eyes whirring with activity. "Impossible," someone murmured. "Even Blast can't." An official in a suit finally stepped forward. "Mr. Son Goku, was it? The association would like to offer you provisional S-Class status immediately, pending formal evaluation." "Cool," Goku said with a shrug. "Does that come with food allowance?" The aftermath of Goku's demonstration was chaotic. He was whisked away to sign paperwork, which he barely read, given a hero name he didn't particularly care about. Cosmic Fist was the best the naming department could come up with on short notice, and outfitted with a communication device he wasn't sure how to use. By late afternoon, he found himself in a conference room facing the Hero Association's executive board, with Saitama and Genos still accompanying him. "Your power level is unprecedented," said an elderly man at the head of the table. "Even among S-Class heroes, you represent an exceptional case." "Thanks." Goku wasn't sure if that was a compliment. "We would like to understand more about your origin," a woman in a business suit continued. "You claim to be from another dimension." "Yeah, got sent here accidentally during a fight. Hoping to find a way back eventually, but not in a huge rush." Goku's eyes kept drifting to the snack tray on the table. "My family's used to me disappearing for training anyway." The executives exchanged glances. "In the meantime," the elderly man said, "we would like to utilize your abilities. S-Class heroes respond to demon and dragon level threats, the most dangerous monsters and disasters. Your power could save countless lives." "Sure, I'm happy to help." Goku finally gave in and grabbed a handful of crackers from the snack tray. "Fighting strong opponents is kind of my thing anyway. We've prepared temporary accommodations for you within the headquarters complex." "Actually," Saitama interrupted, "he can stay with me." The executives looked surprised. Saitama rarely involved himself in association matters. "Are you certain? Your apartment is rather modest." "It's fine," Saitama said. "He can sleep on the floor. Besides, I want to spar with him." Goku perked up immediately. "Oh yeah. I still want to see what you can do, Saitama." The bald hero almost smiled. "Could be interesting." "If that's settled," the woman continued, "we'll issue standard S-Class equipment and a stipend. You'll receive threat alerts through the provided communicator." After the meeting concluded, Goku, Saitama, and Genos walked through the headquarters lobby, where news of the new S-Class hero had already spread. Staff members stared and whispered as they passed. "Is it always like this?" Goku asked, uncomfortable with the attention. "New S-Class heroes are rare," Genos explained. Especially those who bypass normal advancement procedures. I still had to take a stupid written test, Saitama grumbled. You got to skip right to the fun part. Speaking of fun, Goku grinned, when can we spar? I want to see this one-punch technique you guys mentioned. Tonight, Saitama decided. There's an abandoned quarry outside the city. No one to bother us there. Perfect. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. The quarry was a massive excavated pit with sheer rock walls and enough space to contain small nuclear explosion. The moon hung full overhead, illuminating the barren landscape. Goku stretched enthusiastically while Genos established a perimeter. No holding back, okay? I want to see your full power. Saitama wore his hero costume now, yellow jumpsuit, red gloves, white cape. He looked almost bored, but something in his eyes had changed. A tiny spark of anticipation. You sure? He asked. Most people don't survive my serious punches. I'm not most people, Goku replied, dropping into a fighting stance. And neither are you. That's what makes this fun. Genos watched from a safe distance, recording devices activated. This encounter may provide valuable data on Master's true capabilities. Without warning, Goku moved. One moment he stood 30 feet away, the next he was directly in front of Saitama, throwing a testing jab. The bald hero sidestepped with surprising grace, the punch missing by millimeters. You're fast, Goku said appreciatively. Good reflexes too. Saitama shrugged. I get by. They circled each other, Goku bouncing lightly on his toes while Saitama maintained his casual posture. Then both moved simultaneously, a flurry of strikes and counters too quick for normal eyes to follow. Goku laughed with pure joy as he found his attacks blocked or dodged. This is great. You really are strong. Saitama's perpetual boredom slipped just slightly. You're not bad yourself. They separated, then clashed again with greater intensity. The ground beneath them cracked with each impact. Goku remained in his base form, testing Saitama's limits before revealing his transformations. I should warn you, Saitama said between exchanges, I've never found anyone who could take more than one serious punch. Let's test that theory. Goku replied, deliberately leaving an opening. Saitama took the bait, delivering a punch with significantly more power than his previous attacks. The impact sent Goku flying backward, crashing through the quarry wall and into the hillside beyond. Genos stood up in alarm. Master. He's fine, Saitama said, eyes fixed on the dust cloud. Sure enough, Goku emerged from the rubble, brushing dirt from his GI. His grin had only widened. Now we're talking. That actually hurt a little. Saitama's eyes widened marginally, the closest he came to open shock. You took a serious punch. Want to see something cool? Goku's aura began to flicker around him. This is where things get interesting. The transformation into Super Saiyan illuminated the entire quarry with golden light. Rocks levitated around Goku as his power increased dramatically. Saitama actually took a step back, feeling the pressure wave. This is Super Saiyan, Goku announced. Still want to try that serious punch again? For the first time in years, Saitama felt something long forgotten, anticipation. Let's see what you've got. Their next clash reshaped the quarry. Each impact created shockwaves that pulverized nearby rock formations. Genos was forced to retreat further, his sensors overloading from the energy outputs. Master has found a worthy opponent, the cyborg murmured in awe. The sparring session escalated as Goku cycled through his transformations, each one pushing Saitama to exert more effort. By the time they reached Super Saiyan Blue, the bald hero was actually using technique rather than raw power, a sight Genos had never witnessed. Hours later, exhausted but exhilarated, they finally stopped. The quarry had been transformed into a massive crater, with rock formations shattered for miles around. That was Saitama searched for words, not boring. Coming from him, it was the highest praise possible. Goku laughed, powering down to his base form. We should do this again. You're incredible, Saitama. I've never met anyone in this universe who could match me like that. You held back, Saitama observed. So did you, Goku countered with a knowing look. They shared a moment of mutual recognition, two beings who had transcended normal limitations and found in each other a rare equal. The structural damage is extensive, Genos reported, rejoining them. We should leave before authorities investigate. Yeah, I'm hungry anyway, Saitama said, his moment of excitement already fading back to his usual demeanor. Fighting works up an appetite. Tell me about it. Goku agreed enthusiastically. I could eat a whole restaurant. The following days established a routine. Goku responded to monster attacks when alerted, usually resolving them with minimal effort. The Hero Association monitored his activities closely, still uncertain what to make of their interdimensional S-class hero. After a particularly easy battle with a self-proclaimed Sea King's cousin, a large fish monster with delusions of grandeur, Goku returned to Saitama's apartment to find an unexpected visitor. A small, floating woman with green hair and a perpetual scowl hovered in the living room, arguing with Saitama. Irresponsible to harbor an unknown entity of this power level without proper containment protocols, she was saying as Goku entered. He's not an entity, he's a guy who likes fighting and food, Saitama replied with a bored expression. Stop being dramatic, Tornado. That's terrible Tornado to you, Baldy. Who's your friend? Goku asked cheerfully, ignoring the tension. The floating woman spun to face him, her green eyes narrowing. So you're the dimensional anomaly everyone's talking about. I'm not impressed. I'm Goku. Nice to meet you. You must be pretty strong if you can float like that. I'm the second-ranked S-class hero, she snapped. My psychic powers are unmatched in this world. Psychic powers? That's cool. We have those back in my world too. My friend Kaiotsu-kan, I don't care about your world or your friends, she interrupted. I care about threats to this world. The association might be fooled by your friendly act, but I'm watching you. Goku just smiled. Want to spar sometime? I'd love to see what psychic powers are like in this universe. Tatsumaki blinked, thrown off by his complete lack of intimidation. Are you mocking me? Not at all. I love learning from different fighting styles. He's serious, Saitama confirmed. Fighting is like his hobby. The psychic studied Goku more carefully. The reports say you destroyed an entire quarry, sparring with Caped Baldy here. It was awesome. Goku confirmed enthusiastically. Best workout I've had since arriving. And you claim to have even higher power levels you didn't display? Oh sure. But those might cause, you know, bigger problems. Goku made an expanding gesture with his hands. Environmental damage and stuff. Tatsumaki's expression shifted subtly. Professional curiosity overrode suspicion. What exactly is your upper limit? Not sure anymore, Goku admitted. I keep breaking through them. That's the fun part of training. He's legit, Saitama interjected. Annoying, but not evil. Hey. Coming from you, Baldy, that's hardly reassuring. But Tatsumaki's hostile stance had relaxed slightly. Fine. The association wants all S-class heroes on standby anyway. There's been unusual energy readings across multiple cities. What kind of energy? Goku asked, suddenly serious. Unknown. Spatial distortions, reality fluctuations. Sound familiar? Goku nodded slowly. Could be related to how I got here. In my experience, when reality gets torn once, it tends to keep tearing unless properly sealed. Great, Saitama sighed. More weird science stuff. I'll go check it out, Goku offered. I might be able to sense if it's connected to my universe. The association has already dispatched research teams, Tatsumaki said. But, your perspective might be useful. The admission clearly pained her. Cool. Where are these distortions happening? Multiple locations. The largest was detected in City J, near the coast. Goku headed for the door. I'll check it out right now. Wait. Tatsumaki called. Protocol requires, but Goku had already placed 2 fingers to his forehead and vanished, using instant transmission to teleport directly to the energy signature he now focused on. Tatsumaki stared at the empty space where he had been. Did he just teleport? Probably, Saitama shrugged. He does that. Impossible. No hero has teleportation abilities of that range. He's not from around here, remember? The psychic scowl deepened. This is exactly why he's dangerous. Unprecedented powers, no regard for protocols, sounds like most S-class heroes I know, Saitama pointed out. We follow rules. When it's convenient. Saitama picked up a manga. Besides, if these distortions are connected to his universe, he's the expert. Let him do his thing. Tatsumaki looked ready to argue further, then huffed in frustration. Fine. But when this goes wrong, I'll be the first to say I told you so. You usually are. Goku materialized on a windswept cliff overlooking the ocean near City J. Immediately, he felt it, a familiar distortion in the fabric of reality, similar to the tear that had brought him here. Below, Association personnel had established a research perimeter around a shimmering area of air that occasionally rippled like heat waves over asphalt. Scientific equipment surrounded the phenomenon, with researchers taking readings from a safe distance. Goku approached casually, waving to the startled scientists. Hey folks. I'm here to check out the distortion. S-class cosmic fist, one researcher exclaimed, recognizing him. We weren't expecting, how did you get here so quickly? Teleported, Goku explained simply. This energy feels familiar. Mind if I take a closer look? We've established a safety perimeter for a reason, a senior researcher protested. The spatial anomaly is unstable and, Goku was already walking toward the shimmering air, focused intently on the energy patterns. Yeah, definitely similar to what brought me here. But something's different. The air rippled more violently as he approached, reacting to his presence. The shimmer expanded suddenly, forming a swirling vortex that pulsated with unnatural light. Everyone back. Goku shouted, dropping into a defensive stance. Something's coming through. The vortex stretched and contorted, then disgorged a humanoid figure that crashed to the ground. The portal snapped closed behind it with a thunderclap that shook the cliff. Smoke cleared to reveal a creature with pale blue skin, white hair, and ornate armor that seemed to shift colors as it moved. It rose slowly, disoriented but obviously powerful. That's not from my universe, Goku realized, sensing an energy signature unlike anything he recognized. The being's head snapped up, yellow eyes focusing on Goku with sudden intensity. It spoke in a language no one understood, then switched to perfect Japanese. At last. A worthy vessel. Its voice resonated oddly, as if speaking from multiple throats simultaneously. This universe has such potential. Who are you? Goku demanded. And what do you want? The creature smiled, revealing teeth too perfect to be natural. I am Void. Devourer of realities. And you, Scion, are an unexpected treat. Goku's eyes narrowed. You know what I am. I know all that cross the dimensions. Your energy signature is distinctive. Void stepped forward, the ground withering beneath its feet. I followed the trail of your arrival. Such a lovely tear in reality you created. I didn't create it, Goku corrected. I fell through it. Semantics. The damage is done, and the barriers between worlds grow thin. Void spread its arms. Perfect for feeding. Without warning, it attacked, not with physical force but with a wave of energy that distorted space itself. Goku barely managed to dodge, feeling reality bend around him unnaturally. "Everyone get out of here!" he shouted to the researchers, who needed no further encouragement to flee. Goku countered with a ki blast that Void simply absorbed, growing slightly larger in the process. Yes, it purred. Delicious energy. Different from the natives of this realm. "You're eating energy," Goku realized with alarm. "That's how you destroy dimensions." "Consume, absorb, integrate," Void corrected. "Nothing is truly destroyed. Merely, repurposed." This was bad. Goku had faced planet destroyers before, but a Dimension Eater was new territory. He needed to keep it contained until he understood its capabilities better. "Let's take this somewhere less populated," Goku suggested, launching into the air. To his relief, Void followed, seemingly eager for confrontation. They rocketed over the ocean, away from the city and its inhabitants. "You think distance matters?" Void laughed, a sound like shattering glass. "When I finish with you, I will consume this entire reality. The barrier is already weakened by your presence." "Not happening." Goku transformed directly to Super Saiyan Blue, skipping the intermediate forms to conserve energy. Void's eyes widened with delight. "Oh! Multiple energy signatures in one being. How efficient." They clashed above the ocean surface, each impact sending geysers of water hundreds of feet into the air. Goku quickly realized his energy attacks were counterproductive. Void absorbed them and grew stronger. Physical strikes were more effective, but the creature's body seemed partially incorporeal, making solid hits difficult. "You cannot harm what exists between dimensions," Void taunted, regenerating from a particularly solid blow. "I am the emptiness between realities." Goku needed help, and a better strategy. He created distance with a ki wave, then placed 2 fingers to his forehead, locking onto Saitama's energy signature. "Running away?" Void called. "Nope," Goku replied with a grin. "Getting reinforcements." He vanished, leaving Void hovering above the churning ocean. Goku materialized in Saitama's apartment, startling both the bald hero and Tatsumaki. "We've got trouble," he announced without preamble. "Interdimensional trouble." "Called it," Tatsumaki muttered. "What kind of trouble?" Saitama asked, already reaching for his costume. "Something called Void. It feeds on energy between dimensions. Says it followed me here through the tear in reality." Goku spoke rapidly. "Physical attacks hurt it, but energy blasts make it stronger. And it's headed this way. Can you beat it?" Saitama asked directly. "Not sure," Goku admitted. "It's not just powerful, it's weird. Partially exists outside normal space. I need help figuring out how to contain it." "The association has containment specialists," Tatsumaki interjected. "I'll alert headquarters." "No time," Goku said. "It'll be here in minutes. It wants to consume this dimension." Saitama sighed, pulling on his gloves. Tuesday was sale day at the supermarket too. "Your priorities are insane," Tatsumaki snapped, but she was already floating higher, gathering her psychic energy. "Where is this thing now?" A distant explosion answered her question. Through the window, they saw a section of City Z erupt in blue flames that burned in impossible patterns, flowing upward in defiance of physics. "There," Goku pointed unnecessarily. "It's faster than I expected." Void floated above the city center, arms outstretched as it absorbed energy from the surroundings. Buildings, vehicles, even electrical systems were being drained, their substance converted to fuel for the interdimensional entity. "Let's go." Goku didn't wait for a response, blasting through Saitama's window and flying directly toward the threat. Tatsumaki followed immediately, her green aura flaring around her. Saitama stared at his broken window with irritation. Nobody ever uses the door. Then he launched himself after them with a single powerful jump. Citizens fled in panic as Void continued absorbing energy, growing larger and more solid with each passing second. It now stood 30 feet tall, its form shifting constantly between humanoid and something far less comprehensible. "I feel your approach, Scion," it called out as Goku neared. "And you've brought friends. More energy signatures to sample." "That's the thing," Tatsumaki demanded, analyzing the creature with her psychic senses. "Its energy pattern is impossible." "Told you it was weird," Goku replied. "Physical attacks only, remember? Energy makes it stronger." "I'm a psychic," she reminded him testily. "Energy manipulation is what I do." "Then try containing it," Goku suggested. "Create a barrier while Saitama and I hit it." Tatsumaki nodded reluctantly. "Don't screw this up." She raised her hands, green light pulsing around her as she created a massive psychic bubble around Void. The entity noticed immediately, pressing against the barrier with curiosity. "Interesting," it mused. "Mental energy rather than physical. Still consumable, but more refined." The psychic barrier began to deteriorate as Void absorbed its energy. Tatsumaki grimaced with effort, sweat beading on her forehead. "Whatever you're going to do it fast," she shouted. Goku and Saitama didn't need to be told twice. They attacked simultaneously from opposite sides, delivering physical blows that actually seemed to hurt Void. It roared in pain and anger, its form destabilizing momentarily. "Yes," Goku exulted. "Physical attacks work." But their victory was short-lived. Void adapted quickly, its body becoming more gaseous, making solid hits increasingly difficult. "It's learning," Saitama observed, his fist passing through what had been solid mass moments before. "Annoying." Void laughed, the sound distorting reality around it. "Did you think I wouldn't adapt? I've consumed countless realities, each with their own physical laws." Tatsumaki's barrier finally shattered, the backlash sending her tumbling through the air. Goku caught her before she crashed into a building. "You okay?" he asked. "Let go of me," she snapped, but her voice lacked its usual bite. The effort had clearly drained her. "That thing, it's not just absorbing energy. It's consuming space itself." She was right. Where Void floated, reality seemed to bend inward, as if being sucked into a drain. The effect was spreading outward, threatening to engulf the entire city. "We need to drive it away from populated areas," Goku decided. "And find a way to seal the dimensional tear it's using." "How exactly do we do that?" Tatsumaki demanded. "No idea," Goku admitted. But first, he was interrupted as Saitama, apparently tired of ineffective attacks, reared back and threw what could only be described as a truly serious punch. Serious punch. The impact was catastrophic. Air parted before the blow, creating a vacuum that imploded with a thunderclap. Void's form shattered like glass, fragments of its essence scattering across a 6-block radius. For a moment, everyone thought it was over. Then the fragments began to reform, drawing together like iron filings to a magnet. Within seconds, Void stood whole again, though noticeably smaller. "Impressive," it acknowledged. "Few beings have ever managed to disperse my form so completely." "You have my attention, Bald One." Saitama looked disappointed. "Still didn't die in one punch." "I don't die in your limited understanding of the term," Void explained. "I simply redistribute." While the entity was focused on Saitama, Goku closed his eyes, extending his senses beyond the immediate battle. There had to be a connection, something anchoring Void to this dimension, allowing it to manifest physically. If he could find it. There. A pulse of familiar energy from the direction of City J, the original tear in reality was still active, though less visibly. It formed a tether of sorts, connecting Void to its home dimension. "I've got an idea," Goku announced. "But I need time. Can you guys keep it busy?" "What kind of stupid question is that?" Tatsumaki had recovered some of her strength and hovered beside him, green energy crackling around her petite form. "I'm S-class rank 2. Distraction is beneath me." "But you'll do it anyway," Saitama predicted. "Shut up, Baldy." But she was already moving, using her psychic power to hurl debris at Void rather than direct energy. "Go do whatever your plan is. We'll handle this." Goku nodded gratefully. "Saitama, hit it as hard as you can, but try to drive it east, away from the city center." The bald hero shrugged. "Sure." With that settled, Goku placed 2 fingers to his forehead and vanished, teleporting back to the cliff where the original distortion had appeared. As he suspected, the tear remained, a barely visible shimmer in the air that pulsated with otherworldly energy. The research team had returned with reinforcements, including several heroes Goku didn't recognize. They had established a more extensive perimeter with energy measuring equipment. "Everyone needs to clear out," Goku announced as he appeared. "This thing is dangerous, and it's connected to the creature attacking City Z right now." S-class Cosmic Fist. A researcher in a lab coat approached quickly. "Our readings confirm your suspicion. This spatial anomaly is acting as an anchor point for the entity. It's drawing power through this connection. Can you close it?" The scientist looked uncomfortable. "Theoretically, yes. But the energy required would be astronomical, and the backlash could." "I've got the energy part covered," Goku interrupted. "What needs to happen to seal it?" After a quick consultation with colleagues, the scientist explained, "The tear needs to be overloaded with the same type of dimensional energy that created it, then collapsed upon itself. Essentially, you'd be creating a controlled implosion of spacetime." Goku nodded. "I can do that. But everyone needs to be at least 20 miles away. This is going to get messy. But the calculations, the precise energy requirements, I'll figure it out," Goku assured them. "I've dealt with dimensional stuff before. Mostly by accident, but still." While the scientists evacuated, Goku studied the tear more carefully. It resonated with a familiar energy, similar to what he felt when using instant transmission, but wilder, less controlled. If he could match that frequency with his ki, then overload it. He communicated telepathically with King Kai, a technique he'd learned years ago. "King Kai. Can you hear me?" To his surprise, the connection worked despite being in another dimension. "Goku? Where in the universe are you? I can barely sense you." "Different dimension. Long story. Need advice on closing a reality tear." After a brief explanation and some cosmic consultation, King Kai provided guidance. "The technique is similar to sealing a rip in a martial arts uniform. You need to bring the edges together, then reinforce the fabric. But Goku, this will require immense power, and it might cut off your way home permanently." "One problem at a time," Goku decided. "If I don't close it, this whole dimension might get eaten." With the evacuation complete, Goku began gathering his energy. He transformed directly to his most powerful state, Ultra Instinct, his hair and eyes shifting to silvery white as divine energy flowed through him. Back in City Z, Void suddenly stopped its attack, turning toward the distant coast. "No," it hissed. "The anchor." It attempted to flee toward City J, but Saitama intercepted it with another serious punch that further disrupted its form. Tatsumaki seized the opportunity to bind the scattered fragments with her psychic power, temporarily preventing Void from reforming. "Whatever you're doing, cosmic idiot, do it fast," she shouted, knowing Goku couldn't actually hear her. "I can't hold this thing forever." At the cliffside, Goku gathered his energy into a swirling vortex between his palms. The tear in reality responded, pulsating more rapidly as it resonated with his power. "Here goes everything," he muttered, then thrust his hands forward, channeling the concentrated energy directly into the dimensional rift. For a terrible moment, nothing happened. Then the tear began to expand, growing larger and more unstable. Wind howled from nowhere, reality itself protesting the manipulation of its fundamental laws. "Come on," Goku urged, pouring more power into the technique. Close. The tear reached a critical point, its edges glowing white-hot with energy. Then, like a star collapsing into a black hole, it began to implode, drawing in the excess energy and folding upon itself. In City Z, Void screamed, a sound that transcended normal hearing, boring directly into the minds of all who heard it. Its form began to unravel, drawn inexorably toward the collapsing tear like water down a drain. "What's happening?" Tatsumaki demanded, her psychic grip broken by the sheer force pulling at Void. "Something good, I hope," Saitama replied, watching the creature disintegrate. Void's final words echoed across the city as it was pulled away, "This isn't over, Scion. The barriers are weakened. Others will come." Then it was gone, leaving behind nothing but a fading scream and damaged buildings. At the cliff, Goku watched in satisfaction as the tear sealed itself with a final pulse of energy. The backlash sent him flying backward, his transformation failing as exhaustion overtook him. When the dust settled, he lay at the bottom of a newly formed crater, staring up at the blue sky of this dimension that was not his own. "That was close," he murmured to himself. A shadow fell across him. He looked up to see Saitama standing at the crater's edge, Tatsumaki floating beside him. "Did you kill it?" Saitama asked bluntly. Goku sat up with a groan. "Not exactly. Sent it back where it came from and sealed the door. For now, at least. For now." Tatsumaki's eyes narrowed. "What does that mean?" "It means," Goku explained, floating upward to join them, "that the barriers between dimensions are still weaker than they should be. My being here isn't helping." "So leave," Tatsumaki suggested without sympathy. "Not that simple. The tear I just closed was my best way home." Goku brushed dirt from his tattered gi. "I'm stuck here until another opportunity presents itself." "Great," Saitama sighed. "More monsters from other dimensions." "Maybe not," Goku said thoughtfully. Void was attracted to the tear specifically. With it closed, this dimension should be more stable. And if it's not? Tatsumaki pressed. Goku grinned, his irrepressible spirit already bouncing back. "Then we get to fight more interesting enemies. Silver lining, right?" Saitama actually chuckled, a rare sound. "I guess having you around won't be boring, at least." As they headed back toward City Z, Goku reflected on his situation. Stranded in a strange dimension, surrounded by new allies and potential threats, uncertain if he'd ever find his way home. And yet, he felt oddly content. This world had powerful fighters, constant challenges, and people worth protecting. Until a path home presented itself, there were worse places to be stuck. "Hey," he asked suddenly, "do you think the Hero Association will increase my food allowance after this? Sealing dimensional rifts really works up an appetite." Tatsumaki rolled her eyes, but couldn't quite suppress a tiny smile. "You're as bad as the Baldy. Is food all you powerful idiots think about?" "Not all," Goku replied cheerfully. "Sometimes I think about fighting too." As the unlikely trio returned to the city, a dimension-hopping scion, a bored hero of unmatched strength, and a temperamental psychic, none of them noticed the tiny flicker of distortion that appeared briefly in the sky above them, then vanished just as quickly. The dimensional barriers had been damaged. And as Void had warned, others had taken notice. Chapter 2, Rising through the ranks 2 weeks after the Void incident, Goku stood atop the Hero Association headquarters, letting the wind ruffle his spiky hair as he gazed across City A. The metropolis sparkled in the morning sun, showing few signs of the chaos that had recently threatened it. People were resilient here, they bounced back from monster attacks the way he recovered from tough battles. "Pretty impressive view," he said to nobody in particular. His stomach growled loudly, reminding him why he'd actually come to headquarters. The association had promised an adjustment to his stipend after the Void incident. Apparently, saving reality from interdimensional threats warranted a bonus. Goku's communicator beeped, still a strange sensation after years of avoiding technology. He fumbled with the device before finding the right button. "Hello? This thing working?" Cosmic Fist, came the formal voice of an association coordinator. "Your presence is requested in Conference Room 3. The Executive Committee has convened a special session regarding recent events." "Right now?" "I was kind of hoping to hit the cafeteria first." A pause. "Food will be provided." "Say no more." "I'm on my way." Goku's mood instantly brightened. He located the conference room's energy signatures and placed 2 fingers to his forehead, vanishing from the rooftop. Inside Conference Room 3, 12 people sat around an oval table. Association executives in suits occupied one side, while a selection of S-class heroes filled the other. The tension was thick enough to cut with a key blade. A flash of light announced Goku's arrival in the center of the room. Several people flinched. "Hey everyone. Someone mentioned food?" Goku glanced around hopefully. Saitama, slouched in a chair near the corner, snorted with amusement. Atomic Samurai raised an eyebrow. Tatsumaki, floating rather than sitting, rolled her eyes dramatically. "Mr. Sun," the elderly chairman began, "we appreciate your prompt arrival, but teleportation within the building violates security protocols." "Sorry. Still getting used to the rules here." Goku spotted a buffet table along the wall and brightened. "Is that for us?" The chairman sighed. "Yes. Please, help yourself and then join us. We have serious matters to discuss." No further encouragement was needed. Goku descended upon the buffet with enthusiasm that bordered on alarming. Heroes who hadn't yet witnessed his appetite watched in fascination as plate after plate disappeared. "Is he always like this?" Atomic Samurai asked Saitama quietly. "Pretty much," the bald hero confirmed without interest. "You get used to it." With a stack of plates that would have crashed to the floor in less capable hands, Goku finally took an empty seat between Metal Bat and Zombie Man. "So what's this meeting about?" The chairman cleared his throat. "Following the incident 2 weeks ago, the association has been monitoring unusual energy signatures throughout multiple cities. Our scientists believe these may be related to your arrival in our world. The dimensional tiers are spreading," added a scientist in a lab coat, activating a holographic display above the table. Red dots illuminated a map of the continent. "We've identified 17 anomalies so far. Most are microscopic, but 3 have shown signs of potential expansion." "That's not good," Goku admitted, his expression turning serious despite the mountain of food before him. "Void said others would come." "Others?" Metal Bat frowned. "What others?" "Interdimensional beings, presumably," Child Emperor said, tapping on a handheld computer. "Entities capable of traversing the barriers between realities, like our guest here." He nodded toward Goku. "Though some arrive by accident," Goku pointed out cheerfully, "and some come looking for trouble. Big difference." "Which brings us to our current dilemma," the chairman continued. "We need to understand these anomalies better, contain potential threats, and determine if they offer any possibility of returning Mr. Sun to his original dimension." "You want to send him back?" Saitama asked, sounding almost disappointed. "Eventually, yeah," Goku answered before the chairman could. "I've got family and friends back home. But I'm not in a huge rush. They're used to me disappearing for training." "How convenient," Tatsumaki muttered. Goku smiled at her. "It's actually pretty inconvenient sometimes. My wife Chi-Chi gets really mad when I miss dinner." The psychic's scowl deepened, but before she could retort, the chairman redirected the conversation. "We're establishing a specialized task force to investigate these dimensional anomalies. Given your experience and, unique insight into the situation, we'd like you to lead it, Cosmic Fist. Goku paused mid-bite. Me? Led? He laughed. I'm not really a leader type. I just like fighting strong opponents. Which is precisely what you might encounter, noted Silver Fong, the elderly martial arts master. These dimensional visitors could provide challenges even for someone of your capabilities. That perspective hadn't occurred to Goku. His eyes lit up. When you put it that way. You can't be serious, Tatsumaki interjected, floating higher in agitation. Putting him in charge. He's been here less than a month. He doesn't understand our world, our threats, our procedures. That's why the task force will include experienced heroes, the chairman clarified. We're assigning Demon Cyborg, Tornado of Terror, and Caped Baldy to work directly with Cosmic Fist. What? Tatsumaki's outrage made light fixtures rattle. I don't do teamwork. Especially not with these what? Saitama asked dryly. Idiots, she finished, green energy crackling around her. I think it sounds fun. Goku said brightly. Like the old days with the Z fighters. Though I'm still not sure about the leading part. The chairman folded his hands. Consider it a collaborative effort then. Your unique perspective on dimensional threats, combined with Demon Cyborg's analytical capabilities, Tornado's power, and Caped Baldy's strength. Saitama yawned, barely paying attention. Fine, Tatsumaki huffed. But I'm not taking orders from Spiky Hair or Baldy. Wouldn't dream of it, Goku assured her with a good-natured grin that only seemed to irritate her further. As the meeting continued, the scientist detailed the locations of the largest anomalies and the equipment being developed to monitor them. Child Emperor offered insights on potential containment strategies, while Zombie Man raised concerns about public panic if the situation escalated. Throughout it all, Goku kept eating, occasionally asking questions that veered between surprisingly insightful and completely irrelevant. By the time they adjourned, he had cleared every plate on the buffet table and was eyeing the water pitcher contemplatively. First task force meeting is scheduled for tomorrow at 0800, the chairman announced as they rose. Cosmic Fist, please review the briefing materials before then. Goku saluted with cheerful inaccuracy. You got it. Though, could someone explain some of the science stuff to me? Not really my area. I'll assist with technical comprehension, Genos volunteered immediately. My systems can translate complex theoretical physics into simplified analogies. Perfect. Thanks, Genos. As the room emptied, Tatsumaki lingered, hovering near the doorway until only she and Goku remained. The Scion noticed her waiting and raised an eyebrow questioningly. Need something? He asked, collecting the last dinner roll from a basket. I want to see what you can really do, she said bluntly. Not the flashy light show you put on for the association. Your actual limits. Goku's interest piqued immediately. You want to spar? I want to evaluate a potential liability, she corrected coldly. If we're forced to work together, I need to know your capabilities and weaknesses. Sounds like sparring to me. Goku grinned. When and where? Tatsumaki's eyes narrowed. Abandoned zone in City F. 1 hour. Don't be late. With that, she floated out, leaving Goku chuckling to himself. This place gets more interesting every day. The abandoned zone of City F lived up to its name, a wasteland of crumbling buildings and overgrown streets where a particularly destructive monster attack had rendered several square miles uninhabitable. The perfect place for two S-class powerhouses to cut loose without collateral damage. Goku arrived via instant transmission, materializing atop a half-collapsed skyscraper. Tatsumaki already waited, floating cross-legged 10 feet above the rooftop, green energy swirling around her petite form like a miniature aurora. You're on time, she noted, sounding almost disappointed. I expected to wait. Wouldn't miss this. Goku bounced on his toes, already warming up with casual stretches. It's been ages since I fought a psychic. Well, technically I guess King Kai counts, but he's more of a mentor than a, I didn't come here for your life story, Tatsumaki interrupted. I came to assess your abilities. She uncrossed her legs and rose higher, her green aura intensifying. No holding back. I want to see everything. Goku tilted his head. Everything might be a bit much for a first spar. How about I start normal and we work our way up? Her response was immediate and violent, a wave of psychic energy that ripped the entire rooftop from the building and hurled it skyward. Goku barely had time to jump clear before his footing disintegrated. Whoa! He laughed, hovering in midair. Straight to business, huh? Stop talking and fight. Tatsumaki thrust both hands forward, sending a barrage of debris hurtling toward him like missiles. Goku weaved through the assault with fluid grace, each movement precisely calculated to use minimum effort for maximum effect. He was testing her timing, her patterns, the speed at which she could redirect objects. Not bad, he called out encouragingly. Your control is amazing. This only seemed to infuriate her further. The psychic assault intensified, concrete and steel swirling in a tornado of destruction around Goku. He continued dodging, but the pattern grew increasingly complex, the gaps between projectiles narrowing. Finally, a steel girder caught him across the back, not because he couldn't avoid it, but because he'd gotten distracted watching the impressive way she coordinated multiple objects simultaneously. First blood to you, he acknowledged, rubbing his shoulder. That was a great combo attack. Stop. Complimenting me. Each word was punctuated by a psychic blast that Goku deflected with ki-charged palms. Why? You're really good. Probably the best psychic I've encountered in any dimension. Her rhythm faltered for just a moment, enough for Goku to see an opening. He didn't take it, curious how she'd recover. Tatsumaki noticed his hesitation and her eyes narrowed dangerously. Don't you dare hold back on me. I'm just warming up, he assured her. But if you want me to get serious. Without warning, Goku vanished from her psychic grasp, reappearing directly behind her. Before she could react, he gently tapped her shoulder. Tag. Tatsumaki spun with a snarl, green energy exploding outward in all directions. The shockwave leveled what remained of the building below them and shattered windows for blocks around. Stop playing games. Goku raised his hands in a placating gesture. Sorry. You just what? Thought you'd toy with me? Prove how much faster you are. Her voice trembled with rage. I'm not some rookie hero you can patronize. That's not what shut up and fight me properly. The entire abandoned zone seemed to lift simultaneously, thousands of tons of rubble, vehicles, building fragments, and debris rising into a swirling maelstrom with Tatsumaki at its center. Her eyes glowed green, power radiating from her in palpable waves. Goku whistled, genuinely impressed. Now we're talking. With a scream of effort, Tatsumaki brought the entire mass crashing down upon him like a meteor. The impact cratered several city blocks, dust billowing upward in a mushroom cloud visible from neighboring cities. For a moment, everything was still. Tatsumaki panted from the exertion, hovering above ground zero. Then the rubble shifted. A golden light pierced through cracks in the debris, growing brighter until the entire mass exploded outward. Goku emerged, now transformed into a Super Saiyan, golden aura blazing around him. That was awesome, he exclaimed, dusting himself off. You almost had me there. I had to transform just to avoid getting squished. Tatsumaki stared, momentarily at a loss for words. No one had ever responded to her maximum attack with compliments and a smile. What are you? She finally asked. I told you, I'm a Saiyan from Earth. Well, another Earth. His golden hair stood even more dramatically than his normal style. This is Super Saiyan. It's a transformation that multiplies my power. The hair color change is just for show, I assume, she said dismissively, though her eyes betrayed her interest. Nope. It's a physical manifestation of the energy change. Watch. He powered down, hair returning to black, then transformed again. See? Different energy signature completely. Tatsumaki floated closer, studying him with open curiosity now. And you have multiple levels of this transformation? Yep. Want to see another one? Before she could answer, Goku's aura shifted, crackling with blue electricity as his hair spiked up further. This is Super Saiyan 2. About twice as strong as regular Super Saiyan. For the first time, Tatsumaki smiled, a small, predatory expression. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's see what this form can do against my full power. What followed was less a sparring match and more a cataclysm with witnesses. Their clash reshaped the abandoned zone, Tatsumaki's psychic assaults meeting Goku's ki-enhanced physical prowess in explosions of light and force. Buildings that had survived previous disasters crumbled under psychic pressure or energy backlash. Throughout it all, Goku's enthusiasm never waned. Each time Tatsumaki found a new way to attack, he responded with admiration before countering. When she managed to trap him briefly in a psychic binding, he congratulated her technique before breaking free with a pulse of ki. "You're holding back," she accused after 20 minutes of continuous battle had left them both breathing hard. "So are you," he countered with a knowing smile. "I can sense it. You're worried about collateral damage. As if I'd care about abandoned buildings. Not the buildings." Goku nodded toward the city beyond their battlefield. "The people watching." Tatsumaki glanced over her shoulder and scowled. A crowd had gathered at the safety perimeter, including news crews and several lower-ranked heroes monitoring the situation. "Annoying," she muttered. "Fine. We'll call this evaluation incomplete." Goku powered down to his base form, golden hair fading back to black. "That was fun. We should do it again somewhere more remote. Maybe that mountain range north of City Y." She regarded him with guarded curiosity. "You really enjoyed that, didn't you? Despite not using your full power." "Of course. You're an amazing fighter with a totally different style than I'm used to. Learning to counter psychic attacks makes me stronger." "You're strange." It wasn't quite an insult the way she said it. "I get that a lot." He stretched, working out a kink where one of her attacks had connected solidly. "Want to grab something to eat? I'm starving after a good fight." Tatsumaki's guarded expression returned immediately. "I don't socialize with colleagues." "It's not socializing, it's refueling. Important part of training." "No. Your loss. There's this ramen place in City Z that gives me free food now after I stopped that stone monster. The broth is amazing." A faint growl from Tatsumaki's stomach betrayed her. Goku pretended not to notice, but his smile widened slightly. "One meal," she conceded with poor grace. "For nutritional purposes only. And you're paying." "Deal. Though, the association hasn't processed my bonus yet, so I might be a little short on, I'll pay," she snapped. "Just, stop talking before I change my mind." The ramen shop owner's eyes widened in alarm when Goku entered with Tatsumaki floating beside him. One S-class hero was good for business. Two, especially when one was the notorious tornado of terror, suggested imminent disaster. "Welcome back, Cosmic Fist," the owner greeted with forced cheerfulness. "And Tornado. What an honor." "Two of your biggest bowls," Goku requested cheerfully. "Actually, make mine 5 bowls." "Just tea for me," Tatsumaki said, taking a seat at the counter without actually touching the stool, hovering an inch above it instead. The owner scurried away to prepare their order. "So," Goku began conversationally, "how long have you been an S-class hero?" "Since the beginning. I was one of the first." "That's impressive. In my world, we don't have rankings or organizations. We just show up when bad stuff happens. Sounds chaotic and inefficient, she observed, yet there was a hint of interest in her voice. How does anyone know who's responsible for what? We don't worry about that stuff. When a threat shows up, whoever's available handles it. If it's too much, we call friends for backup. And if no one is available? If no one takes responsibility? Goku considered this. I guess that's never been an issue. Everyone I know wants to help when they can. Tatsumaki scoffed. How wonderfully naive. Maybe, he conceded easily. Different worlds, different systems. Neither is perfect. The owner returned with Goku's first bowl and Tatsumaki's tea. She sipped it delicately while Goku attacked his food with characteristic enthusiasm. You mentioned family before, she said after a few minutes of silence. Back in your dimension. Goku swallowed a massive mouthful. My wife Chi-Chi, my sons Gohan and Goten. Gohan's married too, has a daughter named Pan. She's just a little kid but already super strong. You miss them. It wasn't a question. Sure, but like I said, they're used to me training away from home. And I know they're safe. There are plenty of strong fighters protecting Earth in my absence. Including other Scions. Yep. Vegeta's there, he's actually the prince of all Scions, though that's not really a thing anymore since our planet got blown up. And his son Trunks is half Scion like my boys. Tatsumaki nearly choked on her tea. Your planet was destroyed. Long before I was born. I was sent to Earth as a baby. Goku's perpetual cheerfulness dimmed slightly. Actually didn't know I was alien until I was an adult. Thought I was just a human with a tail. A tail. Yeah, Scions are born with tails. Mine got permanently removed years ago. They can be a liability if someone grabs them, total weakness point. Plus, you know, the whole turning into a giant ape monster during full moons thing. Tatsumaki stared at him. You're either completely insane or... The dimensional traveler thing is starting to make more sense. Goku suggested with a grin. Despite herself, Tatsumaki's lips quirked upward. Something like that. Their meal was interrupted by simultaneous alerts from their communicators. Goku fumbled with his, still not entirely comfortable with the technology, while Tatsumaki simply glanced at hers and frowned. Multiple demon-level threats in City C, she reported. Coordinated monster attack. On our way. Goku responded into his device, assuming that was the correct protocol. He stood, leaving half his fourth bowl untouched, a true indication of the situation's seriousness. Want a lift? I can get us there instantly. Tatsumaki hesitated, pride warring with practicality. What do you need to do this teleportation? Just need to sense an energy signature at the destination and touch you. She floated upward, maintaining her aloof demeanor despite her curiosity. Fine. But just this once, for efficiency. Goku placed a hand on her shoulder and 2 fingers to his forehead. Got someone's energy signature already. Hold on. The world vanished around them, replaced instantaneously with chaos. They materialized in the center of City C's business district, where 3 monstrous creatures were laying waste to the surroundings. Each stood over 20 feet tall with distinctive, grotesque features. One resembled a mutated bull with metallic skin, another appeared to be a living tornado of teeth and claws, and the third looked like an overgrown praying mantis with human faces embedded in its exoskeleton. What the hell? Tatsumaki whispered, momentarily thrown by the instantaneous transition from peaceful ramen shop to battlefield. Monster Association, said a deep voice behind them. They turned to find Superalloy Darkshine, his massive muscles gleaming as he stood amid the rubble. They've been sending coordinated attack squads to different cities. This is the 3rd one today. Why here? Goku asked, already assessing the monster's power levels. Significantly stronger than typical threats, he noted. Unknown, Dark Shine replied, but they've been targeting specific buildings. Research facilities, power plants, communications hubs. As if to confirm his words, the mantis creature smashed through the facade of a tall building marked City C Advanced Research Center. "I'll take Bug Face," Tatsumaki declared, already shooting skyward. "Muscles, you handle the metal bull. Spiky, get the tornado thing. Works for me." Goku launched himself toward the swirling mass of teeth and claws. As he approached, the creature roared, a sound that seemed to come from multiple throats simultaneously. S-Class hero detected. Priority target acquired. They're targeting S-Class specifically. Goku dodged a whirlwind of slashing appendages. That's new. Cosmic Fist. Power level assessment, anomalous. Terminate with extreme prejudice. The tornado monster spun faster, generating cutting winds sharp enough to slice through concrete. Goku weaved through the assault, testing the creature's tracking speed and reaction time. Across the battlefield, Tatsumaki had encased the mantis monster in a green psychic bubble, compressing it slowly while it shrieked in multilingual obscenities. Dark Shine was trading thunderous blows with the metal bull, each impact sending shockwaves through the city blocks. "These aren't random monsters," Tatsumaki called out. "They're too coordinated, too informed about us." Goku nodded, dodging another slicing windstorm. "This one knows my hero name and seems specifically programmed to fight me." The tornado monster suddenly changed tactics, spinning directly toward a crowded shopping center that hadn't been fully evacuated. Goku's eyes narrowed, it was trying to use civilians as leverage. Not happening. He flickered directly into the monster's path, cupping his hands at his side. Ka. Me. Ha. Me. Ha. The blue energy wave erupted from his palms, colliding with the tornado monster head-on. Instead of dispersing it, however, the beam was absorbed into the swirling vortex, which glowed with stolen power. Energy assimilation complete. Power increase, 327%. "Oh, that's not good," Goku muttered as the monster nearly doubled in size, its wings now crackling with stolen ki energy. Across the battlefield, Tatsumaki noticed the development. "Don't use energy attacks, idiot. Physical strikes only." "Got it." Goku shifted strategies instantly, vanishing from sight only to reappear inside the tornado's rotation. Moving counter to the monster's spin, he delivered a series of rapid physical blows to what appeared to be a core mass within the swirling chaos. The monster shrieked, its rotation faltering. Goku pressed the advantage, each precision strike disrupting its structure further until finally, with a thunderclap of imploding air, the tornado collapsed. What remained was a humanoid creature with translucent skin, now unconscious amid the debris. Before Goku could catch his breath, an explosion rocked the research center. The mantis monster had somehow escaped Tatsumaki's psychic grip and was emerging from the building with what looked like a large containment unit clutched in its forelegs. "It's stealing something." Dark Shine shouted, still grappling with the increasingly desperate metal bull. Tatsumaki dove toward the mantis, green energy flaring around her hands. The monster saw her coming and made a calculated decision. It hurled the containment unit high into the air while preparing to face the psychic hero. "Goku! The container!" Tatsumaki called out, dropping his hero name in the heat of battle. Goku was already moving, teleporting directly into the container's trajectory and catching it gently before it could crash to the ground. The metal cylinder was heavier than it looked, with hazard warnings plastered across its surface. "Got it. What is this thing anyway?" "Priority objective compromised," announced a mechanical voice from all three monsters simultaneously. "Initiating self-termination protocol. They're going to self-destruct." Dark Shine realized, releasing the bull monster and leaping backward. The creatures began to glow with unnatural light, their bodies swelling as if about to burst. Energy readings spiked dramatically on Goku's borrowed sensor. "Tatsumaki," he shouted. "Can you contain the explosions?" The psychic gritted her teeth, extending both hands. 3 green bubbles formed around the monsters just as they detonated in synchronized blasts of devastating force. The psychic barriers held, but Tatsumaki visibly strained under the pressure, blood trickling from her nose as she fought to maintain containment. Goku saw her struggle and made a split-second decision. Still holding the container with one arm, he teleported directly beside her and placed his free hand on her shoulder, channeling some of his ki into her body. Use my energy. Guide it into your shields. Tatsumaki's eyes widened at the foreign sensation of Goku's ki flowing into her psychic network, but her practical nature won out over pride. She accepted the power boost, redirecting it to reinforce her faltering barriers until the explosions dissipated harmlessly within the contained spaces. When it was over, both heroes hung in the air, breathing hard from the effort. Goku's hand remained on Tatsumaki's shoulder, steady and supportive. You can let go now, she said quietly. Right. Sorry. He withdrew his hand quickly, looking sheepish. That was amazing though. The way you contained 3 massive explosions simultaneously. For once, she didn't reject the compliment. Your energy, it's different than anything I've channeled before. More, alive somehow. Ki is life energy, Goku explained. It's not just power, it's part of who I am. Their moment was interrupted by dark shine calling from below. We need to secure that container. Whatever's inside must be important if they were willing to die for it. Goku descended with the container still tucked under his arm, Tatsumaki floating beside him. Association cleanup crews were already arriving, along with additional heroes responding to the alert. Let's see what was worth all this, Goku said, examining the container for an opening mechanism. Wait. Tatsumaki stopped him with a psychic hold on his hands. We don't know what's inside. It could be dangerous, especially if the Monster Association wants it badly enough to launch a coordinated attack. Good point, Goku conceded. So what do we do with it? Secure transport to headquarters, Darkshine suggested. Let the science division examine it under controlled conditions. While they waited for the transport team, Goku studied the battlefield thoughtfully. Anyone else think it's weird that these monsters knew exactly who we were? That tornado thing even knew my power was anomalous. That's not something you'd guess by looking at me. The Monster Association has gotten better at intelligence gathering, Darkshine noted. But this level of specific knowledge about S-class capabilities is concerning. Almost like they were designed specifically to counter each of us, Tatsumaki mused. The tornado absorbed energy attacks, your specialty. The mantis had multiple redundant nervous systems resistant to psychic interference, my weakness. And the bull's metal was adaptive, getting stronger the harder it was hit, Darkshine's exact fighting style. Goku frowned. So someone's studying us and creating custom monsters. That would require extensive data collection, Darkshine said. Battle footage, power readings, response patterns. Or, Tatsumaki interrupted, inside information from the Hero Association itself. The implication hung heavy in the air, the possibility of a traitor within their ranks. Let's not jump to conclusions, Goku suggested, ever the optimist. Could be they've just been watching us fight. I mean, most of our battles end up on the news, right? Some details aren't public knowledge, Tatsumaki countered. Like your anomalous energy signature. Before they could pursue this concerning line of thought further, the secure transport arrived, a heavily armored vehicle with association agents in protective gear. The container was carefully loaded and locked down for transport. We should escort it personally, Tatsumaki decided. If they attacked once for this thing, they might try again. Agreed, Darkshine said. I'll take point. Cosmic Fist, you follow. Tornado, aerial coverage. They formed a protective triangle around the transport as it began its journey to Association headquarters. The trip passed without incident, but Goku couldn't shake the feeling they were being watched. Every few minutes, he scanned their surroundings, sensing for hostile energies, but detected nothing concrete, just occasional flickers at the edge of his perception that vanished when he focused on them. Upon reaching headquarters, the container was whisked away to a secure laboratory, with the heroes directed to debriefing. The task force Goku was supposed to lead had been officially activated, with Genos already waiting in the assigned meeting room, reviewing footage from the attack. Fascinating combat data, the cyborg observed as they entered. The monsters displayed specific countermeasures against each of your fighting styles. We noticed, Tatsumaki said dryly, floating to a chair but not sitting in it. Where's Baldy? Master Saitama is handling a separate incident in City Z, Genos replied. A creature claiming to be Dimensional Ripper appeared near his apartment complex. Goku and Tatsumaki exchanged alarmed glances. Another dimensional entity? Goku asked. Did it mention void or make any reference to other realities? Unknown. Communications have been disrupted in that sector. Master's last message indicated the creature was annoyingly tough before transmission cut out. That doesn't sound good, Goku said, already rising. If Saitama thinks something's tough. He's probably just bored, Tatsumaki dismissed, though a flicker of concern crossed her features. Baldy complains when fights last more than one punch. Still, we should check it out. Dimensional threats are literally why this task force exists. Goku turned to Genos. Want a lift? I can get us there instantly. The cyborg nodded. Efficient. My rockets would require 7.3 minutes at maximum thrust. What about the container we just risked our lives for? Tatsumaki demanded. Don't we need to know what was inside? The science division is analyzing it now, Darkshine informed them. They'll report findings as soon as possible. In the meantime, another dimensional threat takes priority. Tatsumaki scowled but didn't argue further. Fine. Let's go help Baldy, though he probably finished the fight an hour ago. Goku placed a hand on Genos' shoulder and extended his other toward Tatsumaki. After a moment's hesitation, she floated closer and allowed him to rest his palm lightly on her arm. I'm picking up Saitama's energy signature now, he said, closing his eyes in concentration. It's fluctuating. That's weird. Hold on tight. The world shifted around them, and suddenly they stood in what had once been a residential street in City Z. Now it resembled a war zone, buildings sheared in half, craters pockmarking the ground, fires burning unchecked from broken gas lines. In the center of the destruction, Saitama faced off against a creature unlike anything they'd seen before. It resembled a tear in reality itself, a jagged black slash in the air that occasionally revealed glimpses of other dimensions beyond. Limbs of various shapes and compositions protruded from the rift, some mechanical, some organic, some defying classification entirely. Oh, hey guys, Saitama called out casually when he noticed their arrival. This thing's weird. Keeps pulling in stuff from other dimensions when I hit it. Master. Genos moved immediately to his mentor's side. Are you injured? Nah. Just annoyed. Can't seem to land a clean hit. Saitama's costume showed signs of battle, tears and scorch marks that rarely appeared after his typical fights. The creature's head, a swirling vortex of dark energy, turned toward the newcomers. When it spoke, the sound seemed to come from everywhere at once. More toys to play with. Especially you, displacement. Your energy tastes familiar. Goku stepped forward. Are you connected to Void? The creature's form rippled with what might have been laughter. Void? That pretender? I am beyond such limited entities. I am Ripper, tearer of worlds, collector of realities. So, not friends then? Goku clarified. Competitors. Void consumes. I collect. Without warning, one of Ripper's limbs, a metallic tentacle crackling with energy, lashed out toward Goku with blinding speed. The scion dodged narrowly, feeling space itself distort where the appendage passed. Don't let it touch you. Saitama warned. It tried to pull my neighbor into some pocket dimension earlier. Master speaks truth, Genos confirmed. I observed 3 civilians disappear upon contact with the entity's extremities. That's crossing a line, Goku's expression hardened, playfulness vanishing. Where did you take them? Added to my collection. Safe. Preserved. Studied. Tatsumaki didn't wait for further dialogue. Green energy erupted around her as she launched a psychic assault against the dimensional entity. The attack seemed to pass straight through Ripper's main body, but several of its limbs contorted under the psychic pressure. Interesting. Mental energy. Rare in most dimensions. Another limb, this one resembling a skeletal hand surrounded by purple flames, reached toward Tatsumaki. Goku moved faster than thought, intercepting the attack with a ki-enhanced punch that shattered the bony appendage. Don't touch her. Possessive of your companions, displacement. How charming. I'm not, displacement, Goku corrected, flaring to Super Saiyan in an instant. I'm Son Goku. And you're going to return those people right now. Or what? You'll destroy me? Impossible. I exist between spaces. Kill this form, another manifests. Saitama cracked his knuckles. Worth a try anyway. The 4 heroes attacked simultaneously, Saitama with physical force that distorted air itself, Goku with precision ki-enhanced strikes, Tatsumaki with psychic assaults targeting the creature's limbs, and Genos with concentrated energy beams carefully aimed to avoid feeding the entity's main body. Ripper responded with chaotic glee, manifesting new appendages as quickly as they destroyed existing ones. Each limb seemed to possess different abilities, some fired energy weapons, others distorted gravity, still others attempted to create localized time anomalies. This isn't working. Tatsumaki shouted after several minutes of seemingly futile combat. We're not damaging its core. Goku, now in Super Saiyan Blue form after escalating through transformations, paused to reassess. It exists between dimensions, so physical attacks in this dimension won't fully affect it. We need to hit it across multiple planes simultaneously. In English, spiky. Tatsumaki demanded while deflecting a barrage of crystalline projectiles. We need to attack its presence in other dimensions at the same time we hit it here. Goku clarified. Saitama, your punches are strong enough to affect dimensional barriers. If you hit the center of that tear while I channel ki directly into the rift, we might disrupt its multidimensional anchor points, Genos finished, quickly calculating probabilities. Theoretical success rate, 62.7%. And the civilians it took? Tatsumaki reminded them. Goku frowned. One problem at a time. If we can destabilize it enough, we might be able to force it to release them. Worth a shot, Saitama agreed, readying himself. On your mark. Goku powered up further, his blue aura intensifying as he gathered ki between his palms. Tatsumaki, Genos, keep its limbs busy. Don't let it interrupt us. The psychic and cyborg launched into coordinated assault patterns, targeting every appendage that emerged from the dimensional rift. Tatsumaki twisted and shredded metallic tentacles while Genos systematically incinerated organic ones. Now. Goku thrust his hands forward, channeling a concentrated beam of ki energy directly into the heart of the rift. Simultaneously, Saitama delivered a punch that distorted reality itself around his fist. Serious dimensional punch. The combined attack struck Ripper's core simultaneously, creating a paradoxical reaction where energies from multiple dimensions collided. The entity's form began to collapse inward, the tear in reality fluctuating wildly as its anchor points destabilized. Clever. But futile. Ripper's voice distorted, stretching and compressing like its form. Even if this manifestation fails, others will come. The dimensional barriers weaken. Thanks to you, displacement. With a sound like reality itself tearing, Ripper's form imploded. The dimensional rift collapsed with a thunderclap that shattered remaining windows for blocks around. In its place hovered three confused civilians, an elderly man, a young woman, and a child, all seemingly unharmed but disoriented. Did we win? Saitama asked, lowering his smoking fist. For now, Goku answered, powers fading back to his base form. But it said, this manifestation. I think we just banished this particular expression of it, not the entity itself. And it claimed others would come, Genos noted, recording everything for later analysis. The dimensional barriers continue to weaken. Tatsumaki floated down to the freed civilians, uncharacteristically gentle as she used her powers to lift them safely to the ground. Medical teams are on the way, she informed them. Can you tell us what happened when that thing took you? The young woman shuddered. It was like a museum, endless halls filled with exhibits. Living exhibits from different worlds. Some looked human, others. It's collecting specimens, Goku realized. From across dimensions. And according to its statement, you're the reason it can access our world, Tatsumaki pointed out, her earlier suspicion returning. Not intentionally, Goku protested. When I fell through to this dimension, it must have weakened the barriers. Void said something similar before we banished it. Saitama shrugged. Not his fault. He didn't ask to get dumped here. Before Tatsumaki could argue further, their communicators activated simultaneously. The chairman's voice came through, tense and urgent, all available S-class heroes, report to headquarters immediately. The research team has analyzed the container from City C. Its contents are concerning. The mood at headquarters was grim. S-class heroes filled the conference room, along with top executives and scientific personnel. Dr. Beaufoy, Metal Knight, participated via remote drone, unusual for the reclusive hero. At the center of the table sat the open containment unit. Inside was a device unlike anything Goku had seen before, a pulsating crystalline structure surrounded by intricate mechanical components. This, the lead scientist explained, is a dimensional resonator. It's designed to amplify and stabilize the energy frequencies of spatial anomalies. In plain language, Child Emperor translated, it's a machine that can widen the tiers between dimensions. The Monster Association shouldn't have this level of technology, Atomic Samurai observed. Where did they get it? That's the concerning part, the chairman said heavily. The design bears striking similarities to Hero Association research projects, specifically, projects developed by our Interdimensional Studies Division after Mr. Sun's arrival. All eyes turned to Goku, who held up his hands defensively. Hey, I've never seen that thing before in my life. We're not accusing you, the chairman clarified. But someone has been providing the Monster Association with highly classified research data. A traitor, Tatsumaki stated flatly. I said as much earlier. We can't jump to conclusions, Silverfong cautioned. There could be other explanations. Security breaches, hacking. The data in question wasn't digitized, Dr. Beaufoy's mechanical voice countered through his drone. It existed only in hardcopy form within secure facilities. This strongly suggests human intervention. Genos's eyes narrowed. The timing is suspicious as well. The Monster Association's sudden interest in dimensional technology coincides precisely with Cosmic Fist's arrival and the subsequent anomalies. Great, Goku sighed. So my being here is causing problems on multiple fronts. No, your presence merely accelerated existing plans, Child Emperor corrected, reviewing data on his tablet. According to what we've decoded from this device, the Monster Association has been researching dimensional travel for months, possibly years. But why? Metal Bat demanded, tapping his weapon against his palm impatiently. What do they gain from ripping holes between dimensions? Power, Tatsumaki answered simply. Think about it, access to other worlds means access to other technologies, other weapons, other monsters to recruit. Or escape routes, Zombie Man suggested quietly. If they're losing the war here, they could flee to another reality. The implications hung heavy in the room. A monster association with interdimensional capabilities posed a threat beyond anything they'd previously contemplated. So what's the plan? Goku asked, breaking the tense silence. We need to find their base, right? Stop them before they can use more of these resonator things. The association has been attempting to locate the Monster Association headquarters for months without success, the chairman admitted. They're exceptionally well hidden. Goku perked up. Maybe I can help with that. I can sense energy signatures, especially unusual ones. If they're working with dimensional tech, they might give off distinct energy patterns. Worth trying, Saitama agreed. Better than sitting around talking about it. We'll need a coordinated effort, the chairman decided. Child Emperor, work with Dr. Beaufoy to develop countermeasures against these resonators. Cosmic Fist, your task force will focus on energy detection and rapid response to dimensional anomalies. The rest of you, increase patrols in your assigned sectors, be especially vigilant for Monster Association activity. As the meeting broke up into smaller working groups, Goku found himself cornered by Tatsumaki in a quiet hallway. I need to talk to you, she said without preamble. Privately. Curious, Goku followed her to an empty training room. She sealed the door with her powers before turning to face him. That thing, Ripper, it called you displacement, just like Void did. They both blamed you for weakening dimensional barriers. Her green eyes bored into his. What aren't you telling us? Goku blinked in genuine confusion. Nothing. I mean, everything I know, I've shared. But you haven't shared what you suspect. Tatsumaki floated closer, her expression intense. You're naive, Spiky, but you're not stupid. You must have theories about why these entities are so interested in you specifically. He rubbed the back of his head. Well, I've been thinking about it. My arrival here wasn't normal, even for dimensional travel. Usually, there's a purpose, someone brings you across intentionally, or you find a specific portal. And I just fell. Like something cut a hole right where I happened to be fighting. It's almost like you were targeted, she finished. Brought here deliberately. Goku nodded slowly. Maybe. But why? And by whom? Void seemed surprised to find me here, so it wasn't him. Tatsumaki descended until her feet touched the floor, a rare occurrence that signaled the seriousness of her thoughts. There's another possibility. What if you're not the cause of the dimensional weakening, but a symptom? What if something was already eroding the barriers between worlds, and your arrival was just collateral damage? Goku's eyes widened. That actually makes a lot of sense. But then what's the real cause? I don't know. But I think we need to find out before we face any more collectors or devourers of worlds. She hesitated, then added almost reluctantly, and I think I know how we might get more information. How's that? My sister, Fubuki. Her Esper abilities are different than mine, weaker in raw power, but more sensitive to certain phenomena. She's been researching psychic connections to other dimensions for years. You have a sister? Goku's face lit up. That's awesome. Is she a hero too? Tatsumaki's expression soured. B-class. Leads her own little group called the Blizzard Bunch. It's embarrassing. But she might be able to help us understand what's happening with the dimensions. Possibly. She's talented in her own limited way. The admission clearly cost Tatsumaki some pride. Then let's go see her. Where is she? Her group operates out of City B. But I haven't exactly spoken to her recently. Recently as in 3 years, Tatsumaki admitted with a scowl. We had a disagreement about her career choices. 3 years? Over a job argument? Goku looked genuinely baffled. That's a long time to not talk to your sister. Our relationship is complicated, she snapped. Not that it's any of your business. Hey, I get it. Family can be tough. My brother tried to kill me when we first met. And don't get me started on Vegeta, he's practically family now, but our first encounter involved him trying to destroy Earth. Tatsumaki stared at him. Your family dynamics are disturbing. They got better. Well, my brother died, but Vegeta's cool now. Mostly. Goku grinned. The point is, sometimes the most complicated relationships are the most important ones. Are you seriously trying to give me family advice? Her tone was incredulous, but lacked its usual bite. Nah, just sharing experience. So, when do we visit your sister? Tatsumaki sighed, already regretting her suggestion. Tomorrow. I'll contact her tonight. Don't expect a warm welcome. I never do, Goku replied cheerfully. Makes it more fun when it turns out better than expected. The Blizzard Group headquarters occupied a surprisingly upscale building in City B's business district. From the outside, it resembled a corporate office more than a hero base, with frosted glass doors bearing the group's snowflake logo. Tatsumaki hovered outside, scowling at the entrance as if it had personally offended her. Beside her stood Goku, Saitama, and Genos, completing their dimensional task force. Remind me why Baldi and Robot are here, she demanded, not for the first time. Because we're a team, Goku answered simply. And because Saitama was bored. Sale day isn't until Thursday, the bald hero confirmed with a shrug. Master expressed interest in meeting the sister of Tornado, Genos added. For comparative analysis of Esper bloodlines. I did not say that, Saitama muttered. Before Tatsumaki could voice further objections, the doors slid open. A muscular man in a suit stepped out, his expression wary. Tornado, he greeted stiffly. Miss Blizzard is expecting you and your associates. Of course she is, Tatsumaki replied with an eye roll. Always showing off her precognition party tricks. They followed the man, obviously security, into a tastefully appointed lobby, then up an elevator to the building's top floor. The doors opened directly into a spacious office with panoramic windows overlooking the city. Behind an imposing desk sat Fubuki, the hellish Blizzard, her beauty a stark contrast to her sister's childlike appearance. Where Tatsumaki was petite and volatile, Fubuki projected elegant confidence. Her form-fitting dress accentuated a curvaceous figure, and her long dark hair framed striking features. Sister, she greeted coolly, rising from her chair. 3 years, and now you appear unannounced with interesting companions. It wasn't unannounced. I sent a message. 14 minutes ago, Fubuki countered. Hardly proper notice. We need information, not a social call, Tatsumaki snapped. These are, I know who they are. Fubuki's eyes moved from one visitor to the next. Demon Cyborg, S-Class rank 14. Caped Baldi, S-Class rank 7 despite questionable performance metrics. And. Her gaze lingered on Goku with obvious interest. Cosmic Fist, S-Class rank 16, interdimensional traveler and source of the recent spatial disturbances. Quite a collection you've assembled, sister. Hey there. Goku greeted with a wave. Nice to meet you. Your sister says you might be able to help us with dimensional stuff. Does she now? Fubuki's perfectly shaped eyebrow arched as she glanced at Tatsumaki. How uncharacteristically humble of you, to admit someone else might possess useful knowledge. Don't push it, Tatsumaki warned. This is professional, not personal. With you, everything is personal, Fubuki sighed. She gestured to a seating area near the windows. Please, make yourselves comfortable. Tell me what you need. As they settled into elegant chairs, except for Tatsumaki, who insisted on floating, Goku explained their situation, the increasing dimensional rifts, the entities emerging from them, the Monster Association's suspicious interest in the technology, and the possibility that something larger was causing the weakening barriers. Fubuki listened attentively, occasionally asking insightful questions that revealed her deep knowledge of theoretical physics despite her apparent focus on corporate heroism. "Your theory has merit," she said when Goku finished. "The pattern of dimensional weakening began before your arrival, though it accelerated dramatically afterward. My psychic network has detected unusual resonance patterns for approximately 8 months now." 8 months? Tatsumaki frowned. "Why didn't you report this to the association?" "I did. They classified it as low-priority Esper phenomena and filed it away." Fubuki's smile held no humor. B-class observations rarely warrant serious attention, regardless of their potential significance. If the dimensional weakening began before Cosmic Fist's arrival, Genos observed, it suggests a deliberate effort by some entity or organization. "Exactly," Fubuki agreed. "Someone, or something, has been systematically testing the boundaries between dimensions. Your arrival," she nodded to Goku, "was likely an unintended consequence of those tests." "So who's doing it?" Saitama asked bluntly. "And why?" "The who is what puzzles me," Fubuki admitted. "My psychic network detected the anomalies, but couldn't identify their source. As for why..." She hesitated, then moved to her desk and retrieved an ornate box. "This may provide context." Inside the box lay a small crystalline shard that pulsated with multi-layered light. It resembled a miniature version of the core they'd seen in the dimensional resonator. "Where did you get that?" Tatsumaki demanded. "From a minor monster association facility my group raided 3 months ago. They were using it to experiment on captured espers." Fubuki's expression darkened. "2 of my people were among those taken. We recovered them, but they'd been changed. Their psychic abilities had been modified somehow." "Modified how?" Goku asked, studying the crystal with interest. "Their psychic signature shifted to a different frequency, one that resonates with dimensional energy. They described experiencing visions of other realities, other versions of Earth." She closed the box carefully. "After extensive therapy, they recovered, but the implications remain troubling. They're trying to use espers as dimensional anchors," Tatsumaki realized, horror flickering across her features. "Living gateways between worlds." "That's my assessment as well," Fubuki confirmed. "Psychic energy naturally transcends normal physical limitations. With proper amplification and tuning. A powerful enough esper could tear open a stable portal between dimensions," Genos completed the thought. "One that wouldn't collapse like the current temporary rifts." All eyes turned to Tatsumaki, unquestionably the most powerful esper on the planet. "If they're targeting psychics," Goku said slowly, "then Tatsumaki would be their ultimate goal." "Which explains the coordinated attacks," Genos added. "The monster specifically designed to counter her abilities." "They weren't trying to kill me," Tatsumaki whispered, uncharacteristically subdued. "They were testing me. Measuring my responses. And collecting data to develop this technology further," Fubuki finished, genuine concern evident in her voice. "Sister, I believe you're in danger. Not of death, but of something far worse, being used as a tool to bring something into our world." The revelation cast a heavy silence over the group. Even Saitama looked troubled by the implications. "So what's the plan?" Goku finally asked, his usual cheerfulness tempered by determination. "We find the Monster Association base, destroy their dimensional tech, and put a stop to this before they can target Tatsumaki again." "It won't be that simple," Fubuki cautioned. "If my intelligence network is correct, the Monster Association has already established multiple dimensional research facilities. Destroying one won't end the threat. Then we destroy all of them," Saitama stated matter-of-factly. "First, we need to locate them," Genos pointed out. "A task that has eluded the Hero Association for months." Goku stood up, stretching his arms overhead. "I think I can help with that now. Knowing they're using these crystal things changes everything. Those emit a very specific energy signature that should be easy to track, especially if they're active. You can sense them from here. Fubuki looked skeptical. Not all at once, but I can sweep the continent systematically. Goku closed his eyes, extending his senses outward. Now that I know what to look for, yes. I'm picking up several similar signatures scattered across different cities. How many? Tatsumaki demanded, floating higher with growing agitation. 7, no, 8 distinct locations. Goku's brow furrowed in concentration. Some are stronger than others. The most powerful is, deep underground, somewhere between City Z and City Y. That matches our intelligence, Fubuki confirmed. The Monster Association's main base is believed to be beneath the abandoned section of City Z. Not just abandoned anymore, Goku's eyes snapped open. There's massive energy movement happening right now. Something big is powering up. Before anyone could respond, all their communicators activated simultaneously. The Association Emergency Channel broadcast a terse message, alert, multiple dimensional anomalies detected in cities Z, J, and S, all S-class heroes respond immediately. Repeat, this is not a drill. Goku exchanged glances with his teammates. They're making their move. We need to split up, Tatsumaki decided immediately. Cover more ground. Negative, Genos countered. Dividing our forces is exactly what they want, especially separating you from protection. I don't need protection, she snapped. Genos is right, Goku said firmly. They want to isolate you. We stick together and hit their main base. Cut off the head instead of chasing the tentacles. I'll mobilize the Blizzard Group to assist with civilian evacuation in the affected cities, Fubuki offered, already activating her communication system. My people can coordinate with lower-ranked heroes to maintain containment while you strike at the source. Then it's settled, Goku concluded. We go after their headquarters. Right now. I'm coming with you, Fubuki announced, surprising everyone, especially her sister. Absolutely not, Tatsumaki objected immediately. This is S-class business. This involves Esper exploitation, Fubuki countered firmly. My people were victims. Besides, you may need my psychic network to counter whatever they're planning. Before Tatsumaki could argue further, Goku stepped between the sisters. We could use all the help we can get. But it's going to be dangerous, possibly more dangerous than anything this world has faced. I'm aware of the risks, Fubuki assured him, her determination evident. And I'm not asking permission, from the association or my sister. Tatsumaki looked ready to explode, but Saitama unexpectedly intervened. Let her come, he said with a shrug. More hands make light work, or whatever that saying is. Fine. Tatsumaki threw up her hands. But when things get rough, don't come crying to me. Wouldn't dream of it, Fubuki replied coolly. With that settled, they prepared for immediate departure. Fubuki issued rapid instructions to her subordinates, deploying the Blizzard Group to crisis points while retrieving equipment for herself. Within minutes, they assembled on the rooftop landing pad. I can teleport us directly to the location I sensed, Goku offered. Everyone needs to maintain physical contact for it to work. They formed a circle, each placing a hand on Goku's shoulders or arms. Even Tatsumaki complied without complaint, recognizing the tactical advantage of instantaneous transportation. Ready? Goku asked, 2 fingers already at his forehead as he concentrated on the energy signature he detected. Saitama adjusted his gloves. Let's end this quickly. There's a sale tomorrow I don't want to miss. Priorities, Master, Genos sighed. Just teleport already, Tatsumaki urged. Before I change my mind about this whole thing. Goku grinned. Adventure time. The world vanished around them as they teleported directly into the heart of the Monster Association's headquarters, and into a trap that had been waiting specifically for them. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.